cuando te parió y te quitó al mundo. Corazón ella no te dio para amar segundo. Corazón ella no te dio para amar segundo.
I was born in Tekirdağ in Turkey, and that's where I joined my family as the last child. My mother was a very short lady, and she belonged to a family called the Francos. The Francos in Brusa were a very prominent family, and my father saw a very fine young lady and she would make a wonderful mother, wonderful housewife, and he knew that they're going to be agreeable, and he married her. My mother took care of our family. I have no idea how. I mean, I was the last child born, and as soon as I was born, after that, she said, I got a family to feed. She got up, first day after having birth, she got up and made comida for the whole family. And she took care of us. I mean, she really spoiled me, I mean, my father didn't spoil me, but my mother did. And she was just a wonderful lady. I mean, just the queen of the house. She had respect for everybody, and everybody respected her. And our boys adored her. That's my mother. I mean, Vida Sultana. Life and Sultana means the princess of the house. That was my mother. And I was born to a father who was a rabbi, who married as a silk merchant, and he had a couple of kids already. And he says, "I'm not happy with this. My heart was in Torah." He asked his wife, Victoria, what's her name? Vida, Victoria. He says, "Do you mind if I go to yeshiva and become a rabbi?" He says, "No, do you mind? You go ahead. She'll take care of the children." He went to Istanbul, and in a few years he got smicha. And he established a family that it wasn't a hugging, kissing family. It was just known that all children, the way he looked at us, the way he felt towards us, we knew it. We just knew it, that he loved all of us equally, and he loved us to the nth degree. And where we really felt it was every Friday night. We used to go kiss his hand, and then he used to bless us. We used to kiss Mama's hand, and we knew that was it. That was the symbol of love, because he's taking God's blessing and he's transferring it to us, and we felt that way, So we became a spiritual family then. And then we came to America in 1924. It took a long time for everything to get together and for us to come. We finally came over. It was on a boat called we had to go to France first, the harbor, and then take a boat. It's called Lafayette, to take us across to New York, There was a terrible storm on the boat, terrible. And my father, my mother, they were apprehensive. They called us, and my father says, "You're going to take a solemn oath." He says, "What's the oath, Papa?" He says, "The solemn oath is, if we reach America safely, you promise me that all of you will be Sabbath observers. That's all I want from you. I don't want anything else." And we all raised our hands gladly, and we took the oath. And believe it or not, incredible, the storm stopped. I don't know. We came here and just before Kippur, a couple of days before Kippur. But one man by the name of Simchi Prut, he was the butcher after a while. He knew me from the old country, and I grew a little, But he liked me very much. He put me on his shoulder. I didn't have to walk. And they took us to our home. They rented a home for us, and we made Kippur, first Kippur for them, and they were so happy. I mean, it's impossible to describe how happy they were. Finally, they have a rabbi who was their chazan, who was their spiritual leader. And we had Spanish for everything, you know? And in other words, Kadesh Urchat, you know, Bravaran los manos, sabiendo de Rabbi, where everybody knew it by heart, everybody said it together by heart. Everything was together. Rosh Hashanah was the fruits, you know, I mean, the different berachot. Everybody together. Shir Hashirim and Vadino and the beracha, everything was, you know, he taught us to do it all together and singing, musical, you know. That was our life, and Kippur and all the holidays were, I mean, there was things to remember, and we tried to do the same thing with our children. We didn't do it like he did. We did not master it like he did, you know. On 14th and Yesler, we took over a synagogue. They took over a synagogue that was originally Bikur Holim. And Bikur Holim was also the name of a charity organization in Tekirdad. So they took the name Bikur Holim because they took over Bikur Holim, and because of Bikur Holim, because, you know, that, so we had that name doubly, you know. They built them the first synagogue, you know, in 1929. That's the Great Depression, the year of the Great Depression. And he gathered a few of his leaders together, and he said, we got to do it. This little synagogue over here is not enough, we're growing. And so they bought the property on 20th and Fur, and they began, I remember, we had the kapara, the same thing we had here, the kapara, is to dedicate with money and sugar and sweets, and so we still have pictures of that kapara. You know, my father's holding the chicken, and there's 2, 3 like around him, you know, and they built a beautiful synagogue. I came over 5 years old. How was it with me to change countries, to change people, to change this language, change everything? And Pacific School on 12th and Jefferson was the school for all immigrants. And there were Sephardic kids in there, you know. And they never had much separation of church and state in those days. And when it came across Christmas time, we used to have a music teacher. I remember her, Miss Lamison, I'll never forget her. And she used to teach us, you know, Christmas carols. So I would go to them with my eyes fire, you know, my face. Oh, it's good. All of them. They stopped singing Christmas carols. All of them stopped, you know. And I made a team, you know. But I told my father, you know, should I try for first team? He says, when do they play? Friday night. He said, no, Friday night. You know, so I was happy with being just a sophomore. The sophomore had also, you know. And we played inter-school, you know. When I graduated mid-year, because they put me up a grade. So mid-year, I was graduated. So mid-year, they're going to send me to college. And all of us had to go to Ashkenazi yeshivas. In America, there was no Sephardic yeshivas. In America, if you wanted to become a rabbi, you wanted to become a scholar, you had to go to yeshiva to study day and night. I mean, years, and study it day and night. And so they sent me to Ashkenazi yeshiva, the Yeshiva University. Maimon Sephardi, they used to call me. They used to call me Maimon Sephardi. Maimon Sephardi. I was the only Sephardic Jew in the whole yeshiva.